That's delicious. This is just top-notch flavor, top-notch vapor production. What's up? I'm back. We're talking again about the Profile Unity RTA. Took me a little bit to make this video. I've been busy. Made the first video. A lot of people had questions. A lot of people still had concerns, things they wanted to know. I've done a lot of research on this. I've looked at the Reddit. I've looked at everybody else's opinion. Some people are giving different suggestions. I'm just telling you what works for me and what works perfectly every time. So I'm going to show you right now. Been vaping on this. Have not changed the cotton for 3 days. Right? So the first thing I'm going to do is, you can see I have a little bit of juice left in here, but my plan was to leave the same cotton on here and just show you guys what I got going on. I'm going to take the deck out just so you guys can see the build, I guess. It's hard to call it a build because it's not really fancy, but let's talk about a few things. First off, this fluffed out because I just pulled it out sideways, but let's fix this a little bit and I'll show you. After 3 days, everything still looks immaculate. I don't know if it'll focus. Yeah, everything still looks great. After 3 days, cotton's nice and white. Usually with the fruity flavors that I vape, it'll brown up my cotton after a while, but this has been perfect. Haven't had any issues. I do want to point out the shape of the cotton. Notice how it kind of lines up with the top of the mesh coils and fluffs out on the sides, just like Wotofo shows you in their pictures. And I'll show you with 3 different cottons how you can do this. So right now what I'm using is Firebolt cotton, and I believe that's what Rip Trippers used in his video when he showed the wicking techniques. But Firebolt cotton is really thin, so it comes in really thin strands, and that's for your smaller coil builds that have smaller diameters, so you can get them in there easier. What I do is I take 3 and just mush them together like this and pass them right through, and you can see the thickness of 3 Firebolt cotton strands. Right now, another thing you can do is use one of the organic Japanese cotton pads to wick these, and all you need is 1 pad. Right, so you take the front sheet off, take the back sheet off. Now there's 2 different ways to do it with these organic Japanese cotton pads. One is common and the other one is not really shown, but I'll show you. So you can do the Scottish wicking roll, where you fluff this out until it's really thin. You just kind of stretch it. So you see how it's getting longer because I'm making the cotton thinner. And then once you do that, you're going to roll it up. You're going to roll it all the way. And you can see the thickness of 1 pad compared to the thickness of 3 strands of Firebolt cotton. It's almost the same. The problem with doing it this way is that when you cut it, you have a spiral shape in the middle. So when you're trying to fluff your cotton out, it wants to stick to itself. It doesn't want to move where you want it to move. So what you can do instead, if you don't want to deal with that, is take a scissor and just cut the whole pad into 4 or 5 strips. Right? So let's say 4. I'm cutting this one into 4 strips. Once you have your strips, all 4 strips, all I do is kind of stack them on top of each other and then mush them together and roll them up, and you're good to go. Now this comes out a little bit thinner, but when you cut it and you're fluffing it, it's not stuck to itself, so you're gonna be able to fluff the cotton out a little bit more, clean everything up, and then tuck it in, and it works great with 1 pad. Another thing you can do is use cotton bacon And I don't have a full sheet of cotton bacon because I'm running low. This is a half piece of cotton bacon. Pretty much you take the piece and you rip it down the middle, and this is what's left. This is half. So you can see the thickness is relatively the same. Pretty much you want to go for that thickness. 3 strands, half a sheet of cotton bacon, or 1 organic Japanese cotton pad rolled up or whatever. I'm sure there's different styles of cotton. Wotofo has their cotton. It's 6 millimeter, I think. They call it 6 millimeters, and I'm assuming they're measuring the diameter or whatever. But the difference between the cottons is going to be your price point. So Fireball cotton, a little bit pricier. Cotton bacon, a little bit pricier. This stuff, you can get a whole bag of this with 100 pieces for like $10 on the organic Japanese cotton sheets. However, I don't know how to explain this. Fireball cotton to me just tastes better. If you haven't tried different cotton brands, I recommend doing it just so you can see for yourself that they do have a different taste. It's bizarre. I don't know why. Organic cotton is organic cotton, but yeah, they definitely have a different taste, and Firebolt so far is my favorite. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a refill. Now this is where a lot of people are having issues, is when they think they have everything perfect and then they go to fill their tank back up with more juice to keep vaping, and then it just leaks right out the sides. Now what I do before I do this is your air holes, this swivel ring that they have, a lot of juice gets trapped behind it. So I take a Kleenex, cover the air holes with the Kleenex, and spin that whole thing. Just spin it back and forth. And you can see, maybe you can't see, but you can see it picks up some juice on the inside of there, and it dries off a little bit of the inside. Now, I'm going to leave my airflow hose completely open. And you'll see, because some people said that this absolutely doesn't work, but I'm going to show you straight up that it does. Air holes totally open, 100%. Keep it back here. Now I'm just going to take off the top cap and fill it with juice. And then I'm going to show you how it didn't leak. So for people who thought this was stupid, you're wrong. By the way, if you haven't tried this, it's iced fruit pop strawberry mango. I like a little light menthol. This is delicious. Check this out. Hard to get right now too. I think my favorite site that I order from is out of stock, but you can literally fill this thing all the way to the top. Right now, I'm gonna show you one more time. Air hole is totally open. I have no leaking of any kind. Right now, put my top cap back on. Don't even have to do that slowly because it's wicked right, and you can see for yourself. Got a little bit of juice build up from where I built that, from where I wiped off the stuff with the Kleenex, but that's it. Delicious. Hope it helped.